Tropez in early October, and the season is coming to a close for this boutique watering hole for the well-heeled. The super yachts and supercars are being packed away, attracting the attention of the curious and the indifference of those who've seen it all before. But as the status symbols are stored away for another summer, this fishing harbour on the Côte d'Azur has one last hurrah to offer, one final heroic gathering before it shuts up shop. Les Voiles de Tropez, the final sailing regatta of the European season. 300 yachts of all classes, eras and hues. A spectacular gathering.
What's special about the Voile is that it's very good racing and there's a lot of boats out there and just the ambience of the place is fantastic, so we always come every year and we love it.
The Voiles de Tropez is probably the one event of the year that mixes the festival side of sailing with the competitive side, and I think it's great for the sport.
It's so special because it brings together the old classic boats together with the most modern yachts for racing, and that all comes together at one of the most scenic places here in Tropez. It's a fantastic place.
The event, once known as the New Largue, has morphed into Les Voiles, and the event celebrates its 20th edition in 2018. But even in this eye-catching regatta, there is one class that attracts and holds the attention like no other. 20 classic yachts, most over a century old, in a unique gathering to celebrate the achievements of a yacht design genius.
Elegance,
tradition, and magic.
where art meets science.
In the world of classic yachts, those designed by William Fyfe III have attained mythical status. Born in 1857, the son and grandson of remarkable Scottish boat builders, William Fyfe III surpassed them both as he became one of the preeminent names in the world of yachting in the late 19th and early 20th century.
William Fyfe Jr. était un génie dans le dessin du bateau. Il avait le souci du beau dessin. Et il avait l'habitude de dire qu'un dessin qui n'était pas joli, qui n'avait pas une esthétique, c'était un mauvais bateau. Il fallait que le dessin soit beau. Et ça, c'était un leitmotiv chez lui. Les points que l'on retrouve tout de suite et qui nous font dire aujourd'hui que c'est un chef-d'œuvre, c'est l'élégance des lignes en général. Quand on voit ces bateaux énormes, immenses, étirés, tout en longueur, et qu'on les compare à ceux de son concurrent Herreshoff, on voit que ceux de William Fyfe ont cette beauté immédiate.
The great and good, including King Alfonso of Spain, came to the banks of the Clyde to commission their craft. Fyfe designed Shamrock I and III, Sir Thomas Lipton's America's Cup challengers. Almost 600 yachts were crafted at the Fairlie shipyard. In 1888, Fyfe designed Dragon, and his famous signature, the dragon's head, appeared for the first time. It remains the iconic logo with which all his creations are recognized. And it is this 130th anniversary of the dragon symbol that is celebrated in the Fyfe Jubilee. 100 or so Fyfe yachts remain on the water, and 20 of these splendid craft have been brought together in Tropez to compete for the Rolex trophy in the Fyfe Jubilee. In 1928, Cambria, a 23-metre cutter, became the largest yacht to be launched from Fairlie. While her racing record proved a relative disappointment to her owner, aesthetically, she was a triumph. For Cambria's proud skipper, the Fyfe Jubilee is a double celebration, as it coincides with the craft's 90th anniversary.
To me, Cambria is probably the most beautiful yacht in the world. As a child, if you're asked to draw a picture of a yacht, you would draw Cambria. The proportions are perfect. To sail that, she actually sails as good as she looks. It's incredible. She'll sail to apparent wind I mean, we'll do 9 knots in 8 knots of breeze, which for 120 tonnes is phenomenal. So that is Fife. Not only are they a functional craft, but they're a beautiful craft. It's art versus science, and Mr. Fife got it right.
Those designs which were shaped in Fife's own yard were of unmatched construction. That so many have survived is testimony to this, as is the impeccable and painstaking restoration work that many of these vessels have undergone.
We love sailing, obviously, but 90% of what we do is for the boats. So the decisions we make, all of that is to do with how more original can we be. So it's not a question of, you know, throwing lightweight gear up to go faster. It's actually, oh, hang on, there's a block over there from 1928, I'm going to buy that. It comes on my boat, so we're more authentic. And that's the passion, that soul, if you like, on board the vessel.
And when restoring the original parts isn't possible, the effort and attention to detail involved in creating new ones is immense. When Cambria needed a new 50-metre mast, the wood was environmentally sourced from a single Sitka spruce in Alaska and took 6 months to assemble.
From one tree, we managed to build this beautiful mast behind us. She's 200 individual scarfs glued together and hollow inside. It's a bit of a work of art, and we're incredibly proud of it. And that was 12 years ago. Touch wood, she's still standing.
For Chris and everyone associated with Cambria, it has been close to a lifetime's work.
She's nearly my life. We've dedicated so much to it. We've had the same crew here for the last 15 years. This boat is part of a large family of people who keep coming back year after year. It's an amazing feeling. I can't describe it. How do you describe 15 years of your life?
The gathering of 300 yachts and crews for 5 days of competition attracts thousands of spectators to the harbour. In the opinion of the Société Nautique de Saint-Tropez' president, the regatta binds the local and sailing communities together.
Pendant les voiles de Saint-Tropez, on fait un bond de 150 ans en arrière. On a cette convivialité, ce côté maritime. Saint-Tropez était une cité corsaire à l'origine. Les gens, les marins de Méditerranée faisaient des détours, faisaient halte à Saint-Tropez parce que c'était un port de commerce. C'était ça, Saint-Tropez. Aujourd'hui, les voiles de Saint-Tropez nous fait revenir en arrière avec cette ambiance marin, cette ambiance de voile et cette proximité qu'il y a toujours eu entre la mer et Saint-Tropez.
Half the length of Cambria, and 20 years her senior, is Viola. In her 110 years, this lady of the seas has had 13 owners, each smitten by the purity of line of this elegant cutter with her spoon bow and long counterstern. Like many of these yachts, she has been magnificently restored, but without compromising her originality.
Viola is a mid-size Fife built in 1908 alongside Mariska. This year is special because for her 110th birthday, we can present her in impeccable, immaculate condition. And what is special about Viola is that 80% of the boats are still original.
Les Voiles brings to a conclusion the anniversary celebrations of the craft lovingly described as Fife's Little Mermaid. As such, Belkin has gathered together a close-knit team, including Yvon Rotorol, Viola's former keeper, to mark the occasion.
We all share the hope that they will sail through time, and perhaps one day Viola and other boats here can celebrate their 200th anniversary. So we're temporary passengers in the boat's life. They own us more than we own them, and so we call ourselves keepers.
Belkin's encounter with Viola was a life-changing one, a love story that linked 3 stages of his life.
She's not just an object, not a beautiful wind machine. Our crew, as we call ourselves the viola lovers, give her a soul. So we feel very much the magic of William Fife in his sensitiveness in design and his search for performance but also beauty. So she's quite special in that way.
The yachts with their long overhangs and flush decks are glorious to look at in harbour. And even better under sail. The Fife Regatta creates the circumstances that see these yachts perform as when they were built, often over a century ago. The racing sees the 20-yacht fleet take on 4 days of coastal races around the Bay of Saint-Tropez. The term champagne sailing could have been coined on a day and location such as this. And after 2 days of racing, it is Viola who leads the Fife fleet on handicap. A myriad of battles are taking place within the Bay of Saint-Tropez and out. Windward lewards for the Voiles, offshore duels for the IRC boats, and the triangular coastal course for the classics. It's a test for racers and the race committees. The true magic of Les Voiles is in full swing. And after a hard day's racing, some leisure. The Fife Party allows owners and crews of this select club the opportunity to meet and compare notes.
Alors les traditions, ça passe pas que par tout ce qui est vernis, tout ce qui est beauté, ça passe par les pavillons. Le propriétaire qui est d'abord les codes qu'on installe avec le propriétaire du bateau, avec les autres bateaux, le départ en musique, la cornemuse, la tenue sur le bateau est importante. Pourquoi est-ce qu'on se met en tenue avant de partir en régate? C'est tout simple, parce qu'en fait la régate commence déjà au port. Et quand les 30 hommes d'équipage ont leur tenue, leur chapeau, ils sont ensemble et on commence vraiment à être déjà dans la régate alors qu'on n'a pas passé la ligne de départ. Mais ça commence ici au port. C'est très très important.
No skipper channels the Celtic heritage of William Fife more than Michael Creash, the Breton skipper of Moonbeam. This gaff-rigged cutter utilises composite construction techniques with Burma teak planking over a steel frame. Nevertheless, on water, this racer cruiser is demanding to sail.
C'est l'un, je pense, des côte-rubriques les plus compliqués à mener. C'est le seul, en tout cas, de cette taille qui nécessite 30 marins pour le mener parce qu'on n'a pas d'assistance de winch, on n'a pas d'assistance électrique. Et c'est un bateau très, très dur et très, très physique. Oui. C'est un bateau qui est très, très puissant, d'abord. On a quand même un gréement qui fait presque 600 mètres carrés de toile au pré, on a plus de 1000 au portant. La baume fait 21 mètres, on a un mât de 35 mètres. Le bateau pèse 80 tonnes. On a pratiquement 3 km de bout sur le bateau, 96 poulies. C'est une vraie machine de guerre, ça c'est sûr. Mais pour mener une machine de guerre, il faut des guerriers.
The push for authenticity means that traditional techniques rather than technology are harnessed. To sail on Moonbeam is to step back in time, one that provides a steep learning curve.
Je pense qu'on apprend tous sur un bateau comme ça. Les jeunes marins qui embarquent avec nous pour une saison, pour 6 mois. Une saison sur Moonbeam 4, ça vaut 3-4 saisons sur un autre bateau Marconi. On apprend vraiment l'anticipation sur ces bateaux, à gérer les puissances. Et je pense que c'est un pas pour eux. Il ne faut pas qu'on perde ça de vue parce qu'il y a de moins en moins de marins, de moins en moins de jeunes aussi qui veulent monter sur ce genre de bateau. On est en train de perdre un peu le fil des choses. Donc c'est très très important qu'ils viennent avec nous.
Passion is the enduring emotion when discussing Fife yachts and those who sail on them. This is the third such vessel that Michael Creash has commanded, and his devotion shows no sign of waning.
Je me lève tous les jours avec cette envie et je me dis que j'ai beaucoup de chance, oui, j'ai vraiment beaucoup de chance d'être là aujourd'hui. Quand on navigue sur un bateau comme ça, on ressent des choses incroyables, incroyables. D'abord, c'est la vie pour moi, c'est la vie d'équipage. Le bateau est merveilleux, c'est une chose, mais c'est tous les gens qui le font vivre et c'est cette osmose avec tout le monde qui le rend complètement unique.
At every dock out and every return to shore, the piper on board reminds all that the Fife boats were born in Fairlie, Scotland. Away from the classics, the three big boat groups, the Maxis, Voiles and Jays, compete in idyllic conditions off Pampelon. Rambler 88 is the boat to beat in real time, but George David's magnificent craft is disadvantaged on corrected time. Dario Ferrari's new Botin-designed Maxi 72 Cannonball and Jetu make the battle for IRCA a two-handed affair. Like inseparable siblings, Moonbeam of Fife shadows her younger sister during the coastal races. Both carry the number 8. But while Moonbeam of Fife has double the digits, she has half the amount of sail. This gaff cutter, built in 1903, 11 years ahead of Moonbeam for the same owner, carries a much smaller rig and has a wooden hull rather than a composite design. This lack of rigidity makes for a sailing experience like no other. The boat feels alive.
Moonbeam of Fife, as all the other Fife vessels, they're very sensitive boats and yachts. That means like these boats are moving, the wood is working, the wire is a little bit stretching, the ropes have to stretch. So there's a lot of things you have to think about when you sail on a vintage vessel to make the boat more balanced in each direction. So it's like in modern boats, you have ropes, they don't stretch at all. Here we need stretchy ropes. We need blocks that they're forgiving. We need the bowsprit, which is like 3.5 meters long. The whole boat is moving. You have to feel the boat in your back, and when you sit on the boat and you feel the boat, the wind is not the biggest problem. The biggest problem for all of vintage boats is the wave, the sea state. This is the worst enemy for the vintage boats compared to the modern boats.
Well over a century after she was launched, Moonbeam of Fife continues to deliver a unique sailing experience. Built for a distinguished London lawyer who wished to race under the new RORC rules, which included yachts with fitted-out interiors, she was the third yacht of 4 to carry the Moonbeam name. Her magnificent mahogany cabin evokes travel in a grand style. Below and above decks, she's a vessel that gives modern sailors insight and appreciation of the work done by the magicians of Fairlie.
To me, what the Fife family and William Fife were achieving 100 years, 130 years ago is unbelievable. What they achieved by drawing and by calculating by hand, and these lines, even when you look at the boats today, they look so, in a way, modern, but still they look old. But the way the relationship, rig, the bow, the hull shape, it's phenomenal. When I come on this boat, honestly, this is not a joke, I get goosebumps.
The final day's racing will decide the Rolex Trophy. Viola and Caron too, a 1935 Bermudan, share both the lead and the attention.
Aujourd'hui, ça va être une journée très compliquée pour Caron et Viola. C'est vraiment deux bateaux extrêmement différents. Donc on n'a pas du tout les mêmes angles de vent pour remonter au vent. Donc ça va être très difficile de les marquer. Si on peut les embêter, on les embêtera. Mais autrement, non, ça sera très dur pour nous de les embêter.
And there's drama almost immediately as the two challengers jostle on the start line, leading to an infringement by Caron. The Swiss-registered Bermudan is forced into making a penalty turn, handing Viola the early advantage. However, it is one that is short-lived. As forecast, the light 5 to 6 knot breeze favours Caron upwind. Such is her handicap advantage that Viola can afford to give away 25 minutes to Caron over the 13 nautical mile course. However, on the downwind leg, Caron has already opened up an advantage of close to 20 minutes. The second half of the race sees a reversal of fortune. The breeze rises to 12 knots with gusts of 15. Now the conditions favour Fife's Little Mermaid as she halts and then reverses the time loss. Caron too sails impeccably. She covers the 13.2 nautical miles in just under 2 hours and 19 minutes. But behind, Viola is making up time inexorably. She crosses the line 15 minutes behind her main rival. Victory seems assured. But only an official confirmation can commence the celebrations.
La velocità della barca veramente siamo andati al massimo che potevamo, abbiamo avuto dei momenti dove siamo arrivati fino a 9 nodi e mezzo, più di quello non potevamo fare.
Tout l'équipage était très impliqué, on a senti tout le monde hyper motivé, c'était vraiment génial. Et puis c'était le vent de Viola, donc voilà, ça clôture bien la course. On ne connaît pas les résultats encore, on va voir à la fin de la foire.
The following day's prize giving confirms Viola's victory, rounding off her 110th anniversary celebrations in fitting style as she lifts the Rolex trophy for the Fife Jubilee, a fitting reward for owner Kostya Belkin, his skipper Fabien Desprez, and the whole of the Viola crew.
If William Fife could see it, he would be grinning from ear to ear. First of all, see again all those magnificent Fives still alive today, and little Viola expressing herself so happily. Yes, it was absolutely unique.
An enthralling Les Voiles de Saint-Tropez also saw Dario Ferrari's Cannonball rewarded in IRCA. The Fife Jubilee has been a tribute to all the owners and sailors who have dedicated their energy and passion to these precious classic sailboats, adhering to William Fife's celebrated maxim about the two qualities of a great yacht.
The secret of a good boat: she must be fast and bonny.
She must be fast and bonny.
Fast and bonny.
Fast and bonny.
Fast and bonny.
Next time on The Spirit of Yachting, we're in Malta as the Rolex Middle Sea Race celebrates its half-century.